all eyes are now, all will be on the local government and how best they will utilize these funds. Lagos State, according to the Lagos State government, says the state is an exception as its local government is autonomous. Today, we'll be looking at local government autonomy and community development with Olabowale Kasumu. He's the Community Development Committee Chairman at Gbado Kildo LCD. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All right. With the Supreme Court's ruling on local government autonomy, what positive changes do you expect, do you anticipate with the implementation of full government autonomy?
Thank you. Well, as the governor has rightly said, the councils in Lagos State are autonomous, irrespective of whether we have JAC or whatever. But to the rest of the country, it's a big responsibility. Now, all eyes will be on the council chairman. Because nowadays, you know, social media, all information goes on the social media.
It's out there.
So if you are given certain amount of money to develop your local government and you are unable to utilize the money properly, that's an issue for you with the community members. Here in Lagos, the community development committees has always been partnering with the local government. We work in synergy, in harmony. So there wouldn't be any... the only thing is that now we have robust partnership, because now we'll be able to sit down with the chairman. Okay, what are we executing here, and what are you executing here? Okay, if this money is not enough, then we have to go back to the community. You know, there's also the aspect of the IGR. That's why I said now it is more responsibility on the shoulders of the council chairman.
Okay, we're looking at this local governments. In Lagos State, we have 20 local governments and 37 local council development areas. So how will this now work when the Constitution recognizes just 20 local governments?
Yes.
Or how has it been working?
It has always been working fine.
Okay.
That's why I said in Lagos State we already have the structure.
Okay.
Yes, we have 20 recognized by the law, and we have 37 others. Take, for example, where I came from, Alimosho. I know the federal government recognizes our SCDA as a ward, 2 words, 2 federal words. But in Lagos State, it's an LCDA with a council chairman. When these funds come directly from the federal, it goes directly to Alimosho. Alimosho, yes, is recognized, but they have a sharing already a structure.
There's a structure in place.
So there wouldn't be any. That's why I said Lagos State, they are autonomous already. What they needed to now do now is to look more inwards, because a lot of people will be coming up with different ideas. And then let me now let the Lagosians know this, even though they know it, some of us don't really talk about it. This federal money that comes, no, there are a lot of obligations that the council already have. Maybe World Bank assisted project, all these things, teacher's salary. People will be looking at the gross. They are not looking at the net. There's a difference between the gross and the net. The federal will publish the gross and not the net. When it gets to Lagos, then the budget office or the local government ministry will start sorting it out. So it's only more responsibilities and then more collaborations on the part of the communities.
I want to find out, as the Community Development Committee Chairman, what exactly is the role, the CDC plays in the local government, or maybe wards, or maybe the community in general?
Well, the CDC, we are the supervising body at the local government level. We supervise the local government creations and then the activities of the
That's all
CDAs.
you do.
That's not all. Then we also execute projects on our own too. We have various projects that we also do at CDC. Apart from the ones that are being done at the CDA level.
CDA level, okay?
And then the council too has their own responsibility. But we at CDC, we supervise the various community development associations. We ensure that there is peace and harmony within the community. If there is any issues, we try to resolve it before the thing escalates.
Okay, while you were speaking earlier, you said it's a lot of responsibility on the shoulders of the executive chairman.
Yes.
And so with the recent development, how are you going to hold this, the executive chairman accountable, transparency? How have you been doing it in the time past? And with this recent development, how do you intend to go about it?
Okay. Thank you. You see, now that's why I said there is more responsibility on their shoulders. Normally, we have our monthly meetings where the council chairman sits. He sits with us. We ask questions. Why is this on? What are you doing about this? If you have any challenges in your community, you bring it forward at the CDC general meeting, and we place it before the council chairman. So most of the time, if there is no, that's why in our own local government, Agbado Okeodo, now I'm zeroing it down to Agbado Okeodo. If you have any issue within the community, and the communities are unable to resolve it, we bring it to the CDC general meeting. Every month, the council chairman has to sit there, and he has to listen to the people. There, each and every one of us can say whatever we like, but what we prevent, do not insult the council chairman. But no, Mr. Chairman, you have not done this. This is the way to go. If the chairman is not going, we, the CDC, will take up the challenge. That's normally what we do. We'll go and do it and demonstrate to him. And that's why I said there is a lot of responsibility on their shoulder now. Because some of these CDC, if they know what they are really doing, will go out and execute some of those things that the council ought to have executed. And then you prove to him that this is the way to go. You know, the man that has the green biro has the final say. But you can as well tell him, no, Mr. Chairman, this is the right thing to do. So at that meeting, we tell ourselves the truth. The councillors, the supervisors, each and every one of us will be seated, and then we'll discuss whatever issues we needed to discuss.
When we were talking earlier, you said you also, part of your role also is to come up with projects.
Yes.
So this project, how is it funded?
We as Community Development Committee, we source funds.
Okay.
Personal funds, funds from organizations, companies within our communities to fund some of the projects. And then the council too normally supports. But mind you, because of the bureaucracy of the local government, sometimes it is difficult. But we, as community development committees, we source our funds directly.
Okay, I'd like you to share with us some of the projects that you have embarked upon, and that it is a success story in Agbado Okeodo.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, in Agbado Okeodo, sometimes ago in 2001, we organized a summit, that is the economic summit of the entire local government. And at that summit, I remember Ministry of Wealth Creations were there, Commerce, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the former essay on local government to the governor was also there. The former deputy speaker too was in attendance. Ibile Microfinance. So we all came together and we agreed at that meeting that we have to start engaging our youths. Then, because Agbado Okeodo is at the border end of Lagos State with Ogun State, and then onward to Seme. So we said we come up with an idea that we should turn this our local government into a commercial hub. And ever since, we have been engaging our youths. And mind you, at that summit, we looked at sports generally. If the state and the federal government is able to look into the sporting activities, sporting activities alone, plus or minus, can take about 60% of our youths off the streets.
Sure. Yes.
They are really not looking at it. So I went out of my way to start organizing boxing, because that's my own area.
Oh, okay. I would have thought it was football.
Well, yes, the council chairman wanted football.
Okay.
I said, well, if you want football, you have to organize your own football. I'm a boxer myself. So, and I know how to get these youths off the streets. So, and ever since, I've been organizing it. Then, for the youths that are into vocational, we organized trade fairs where we went into the streets, bring them out, promote their products. In fact, the first exhibition we did, the then commissioner for commerce asked us to submit about 10 names, because she went around, look at the various products.
Which commissioner for wealth creation?
No. Commerce.
Commerce, okay.
Took 10 of our youths, those who are really engaged, doing production. So that's the way to go. In fact, if we have started this thing over the years, most of these problems that we have today, we will not be having it.
Okay. I like this success story that you've shared, but this question, outside Agbado Kyodo, well, we know that Lagos is doing well, but things can be improved upon. So
Yes.
what sectors do you think that more energy should be channeled into making life better for the people?
Well, presently, I would still suggest, ask the government to look into the engaging the youth properly. Then, as for the development of the community, Ministry of Environment should ensure that most of our canals are well desilted. You see, some of these things too, well, what you have invested your money over the years, flood can come just in an hour and everything is gone. So the Lagos State government has to look into that direction too. In the area of transport, the government is trying. I've established BRT, they are working, but they have to increase the buses. And then particularly in the area of energy, Lagos State has to go back. When Asiwaju came in 1999 as a governor, he brought Aaron. And I know what transpired between the federal and the state at that time. The state governor has to look into that project now. For example, in our own local government, we can use our dump site, the abandoned dump site, to generate energy. Why we will be using it? We'll remove ourselves from the national grid. The moment you are able to have energy, a lot of productions will be generated. A lot of companies will spring up. Those who are into small businesses will now, rather than using generator, you prefer to go on the state energy. So these are areas where the state government should look into properly, and then.
And my question was for the local governments. Let's leave the state government to do what they do.
At the local.
Yeah, at the local level.
You see, at the local level where we are, the various. I know most of the council chairmen cannot go into energy generation, but I want to give them an example. Outside Nigeria, like Delta Airline now, is owned by a local government in US. We have ports owned by. So in our own area too, our own local government, we should be able to look at our area and develop it into a commercial hub. Because we have the various markets that can be well developed, and the council can generate more funds for the development of the community.
Is there anything restricting them from doing that?
Well, there are some restrictions, but cannot be discussed. Yes.
Okay, since you said Lagos has been autonomous, I'd like you to share examples of how this autonomous decision-making has led to better management of local resources and funds.
That is how the funds
have been
better managed.
Better managed. For states that are just...
Okay. Let me use our own as an example. this autonomy, the council chairman, I understand they came up with an idea to develop road infrastructure. So, certain percentage of your federal allocations will be deducted.
I'm glad you started with road.
Yes, road. Because we have a road deficit in our own local government. So that is...
I'm glad that was what I said. I'm glad you started with roads.
So, you see, certain percentage of the money will be deducted and kept. After maybe 10 months or a year, the council have to come up with 2 roads that will be constructed. So, and that's an example of how the funds is being managed.
But driving around Lagos, most of these inner roads are, they're an eyesore.
Yes.
Okay.
Even where I reside, the road is so bad, I can't take my car out. But you see, some time ago, we sat down and we now collect the data of the entire streets we have within our own local government. That's 2 wards that the federal government is talking about. We have over 2,500 roads. And most of these roads, they are more or less like state roads. The local government cannot do more than 400, 500. They can't even construct 500 meters. But the state can do a kilometer, 2, 3. Most of the roads within Agbado Okeodo are over 600 meters. You'll be seeing a road of 1.1 kilometer. Yes. Yetkem Road from White House to Amikonle is about 1.6. So can the local government develop that?
It's a huge project.
So, and that's how we have more than 2,500 of those roads. But now what the advice I will give is for the authorities to let us sit down. Because most of these roads that we are talking about, the various community development associations open up those roads. Because we don't have government schemes within our own local government. So we open up these roads. But we can as well sit down, bring out suggestions, ideas. Rather than awarding contract, there are other ways, community development committee, that those roads will be tarred with little funds. These are some of the issues that I said, more responsibility on their shoulder. They have to sit down with us now and let us discuss way forward.
Okay, I know that local governments always say it's pay your levies and rates as at
levies and rates, yes,
as and when due. So how, as a CDC chairman, how have you been able to ensure that these monies collected are used for the benefit of the people?
For the people that knows me very well, I'm a practical person. I rarely talk. If I want to do anything, I'll just look at it, study it, and then go after it. Sometimes ago, there is one levy that is very difficult to collect. I sat down with my ESCO that, why don't we go after this levy? And let us use this levy as a parameter for other levies that have been collected within the LCDA. It is that time that you'll be able to face your chairman and tell him, Mr. Chairman, if we, as community development associations, is able to collect this much, this is how much. We know the number of houses within our local government. We know those who can pay, we know those who cannot pay. So we pick radio and television. You know, this radio and television is first within the local government, but they have not been able to collect it. So I came up with the idea that let us, but that's why I said there are some hiccups. Let us assume this year we are able to collect 5 million. We will now use that 5 million as an average. That, okay, from this you are able to collect this amount, from this you should be able to, this is the amount. If you tell me your internally generated revenue every year is 200 million, I will look at you as, How come if you are generating 5 million from here, how come you are generating 2 million from here?
Yeah.
These are some of the, that's why I said that autonomy is a big challenge. The whole world is now watching.
All eyes
So
on
all of us should sit down and discuss properly. I've just given you, you see, most of these things, when we come up with these suggestions, people think it doesn't work. It works. I can go around the entire 300 houses within my community. Please pay this fee. Pay this. People will pay. Likewise, other CDA chairmen too. Go. Okay, this is the amount. How much do you generate from it? If we generated this, how much do you generate from it? And what are you channeling this money
into?
So, you see, community believes in contributing money and you using the money properly. If you don't use it properly, they will not pay.
Okay, moving away from levies and funding right now. Earlier on, you spoke about engaging the youth and, of course, empowering them.
Yeah.
Okay, how often do you sit with other members of the community to understand the real needs of that particular community? Because even as a CDC chairman, you might not be aware of everything, the community members, are aware of. So how often do you sit with them to understand what their real needs in the community are?
You see, I've just told you we have our meetings. That's the general meeting of the CDC every month, once in a month. Then the various, we have what we call joint CDAs. Each area, maybe about 30 CDAs will come together, write the government on their needs. They also meet every month. The CDAs too, most of them too meet every month. But I can tell you most of the challenges we have around in Agbado, because I've been in that local government for a while now, and I know some of the problems.
Peculiar to
yes.
each
So
community.
how have you been able to address, some of these
Yes,
needs?
those of the ones that we cannot execute,
You take it to
we take it to the
local government.
local government.
Okay.
And some of the ones that I know the council cannot execute too, we come to the state.
Okay.
Because I've just given you
What are
the
some
example of the road.
Can you share some of these needs with us?
I've mentioned the roads, the various flowing of the canals.
Okay.
I know some of our people too, these wetlands have been encroached, but then, you see, if the government to listen, there are ways we suggest that, look, Mr. Governor or Commissioner, this is the way to go on this very issue. This is the right way to go. Then, in the area of security, the federal government cannot, we are all in the security business together, because some of this community too hired security men to watch in the night. Then there are lots. We have ways of settling issues.
Okay. So this question just came in. Said I should ask you, why are you collecting radio and television levies and you are not giving it to media houses? Why?
You see, that is they are directing. This question is being directed to me as a council chairman. I'm not a council chairman, but let me tell you, it is Obasanjo, during General Obasanjo's regime, that brought out this issue of radio and then we only have NTA, and I don't think most of the states have TV stations. So then he ceded this radio and television to local government. Now, that aspect of the constitution has not been changed.
Okay.
But the whoever is asking that questions, that very question, you might ask him as well. For how long has he been paying too? How many people has been paying? The only time we pay is when you want to collect anything from the state. the state will charge radio and television. Or if you needed anything at the local government, the council too will charge. But willingly, you hardly see people that pays.
Okay, as CDC, you said you also do self-oriented projects, and I know that one thing or one issue is maintenance culture, you know. So how do you ensure that the projects that have been done are properly maintained so it can last for the benefit of the people?
In that aspect, we are really trying. Whatever the community uses their own money for, that project is well maintained. When the state comes up with any project and hands over the project directly to the community. In fact, sometimes ago, when Honorable Folami was the Commissioner or Special Advisor to the Governor on Local Government Affairs, I suggested then that the state government should collect house owner fee. This house owner fee is being collected in the advanced world. These fees are channeled to maintenance of infrastructures within any community. But the communities will monitor the funds because the house owner fees, each house owner, whatever amount you collect as your rent or whatever, the house owner fee will be deducted. And then if the state government has constructed a road in your area, you will be maintaining. That's another way to go. If the state government will look at it and then sit down properly how to really generate. So, but whatever the community does, we really maintain properly.
We'll go on a short break now. When we come back, the conversation continues. We are listening to Lagos Sense for today.
The experience in Lagos that I never forget is traffic. The traffic on the Tomiland Bridge before was crazy. You know, thinking of having that in your mind, always that traffic.
Welcome back. We're still having the conversation, and it's local government, autonomy, and community development with Olabowale Kasumu, the CDC chairman, Agbadu Okeodo, LCDA. But before we continue with that conversation, we watched Lagos Sense, and of course, you know how it goes. Our CDC chairman will share his own experience of Lagos Sense with us.
Okay, thank you. Sometimes ago, maybe about 12 or 13 years ago, myself and my brother, who happens to be former Deputy Speaker of Lagos State.
Who?
Honorable Kolawole Taiwo.
Okay.
We are together from Badagry going to... He's driving me home. So we come through Agbara. Though it was very awkward, late in the night. So we were just discussing. All of a sudden, we just saw these guys with guns. We now have to stop. Sunday, so I looked. I said, we are about 3 in the car. I have to summon courage. Whatever will happen, maybe today is the end. I tried to calm down. But that day I received the greatest beating of my life.
You were trying to do Lagos boy.
I came down from the vehicle, blows from different angles. While they were beating me, they were searching me. He was still seated in the car. It's not his turn yet. So after searching me, they asked me to lie flat on the floor. So I lie flat. They went to him. It was that time they now realized he's the big man. That me, I'm not the big man. The first slap, remove your shoe, remove your watch. The second time, the third one is just drop as if he's dead. So they left him. They come back to me again, started beating. What is the problem? You have collected everything. What else do you need? So, but fortunately for us, about 3 trailers were just coming. So they now said, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. But do you know what we saw? We went to Morogbo police station. Morogbo said, no, it's not our jurisdiction. They took us to Agbara police station. What we saw, I cannot say it on set.
What an experience.
Maybe you share it with us after the show.
Yeah.
Off camera.
I know if he is working, if Kola is watching now, you'll be laughing.
Okay. We would love to know, Sha. Since you said you cannot share it on air.
General consumption.
Okay, just while we were watching the Lagos Sense report, one of our behind the camera members asked a question. He said, what is the difference between tenement rate
and house ownership fee?
House ownership fee and, of course, land use charge. Are they all paid to the local government or to the... Okay.
The house owner fee is an idea from US where the government collects a token on behalf of the community, which will be paid into the community account, where we have to use the funds to maintain various infrastructures provided by the government. The tenement rate is the fee that you pay to the local government that is now being collected by the state, that is land use charge.
Okay.
So that's the difference. Tenement rate is also the same thing as land use charge. So we no longer collect tenement rates again, it's land use charge now.
Okay.
Okay. I hope you now have a better understanding of those 3 different payments. Okay, let's continue with our conversation for today. As we round off today, how do residents of Agbado Okeodo perceive, this understanding of being autonomous and that their needs are being met? And, what feedback do you really get from them?
Well, human wants are insatiable. Always be asking the government for more. Yes, no government can satisfy anybody. You are only just to try your own bit. But the present administration is trying in its own little way. We have to be honest with ourselves. But there's room for improvement.
There's room for improvement. Anything, John?
Okay, so what of advice, or what are the expectations from community members towards ensuring that the government does their own bit? They also have their own role to play too, so that all hands can be on deck.
Well, as I've said, the expectation of the community is very high. Now that it is autonomy, financial autonomy everywhere. My only advice for the local government chairman is to ensure that they work in synergy with the Community Development Committee. This is how Lagos State can move further. And the aspiration of the forefathers of having a mega city can be well achieved. The communities are ready to collaborate. What is left for them, for the council chairman to work with the community members.
Do well.
Thank you very much, Olapunwale Kasumu, CDC Chairman, Agbado Okeodo, LCDA, and he has highlighted local government autonomy and community development with us today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We'll go on another short break. When we come back, the program continues.